Chris, or Zach rather, I'm sitting here talking to myself the whole time. I forgot to take the mic off mute. I'm sitting here talking to myself the whole time. I'm an idiot. Sorry about that. I'm sitting here rambling and didn't work. There we go. Sorry about that, Zach. But this is wide open. We got a lunch break open if you are interested. No words coming out. Yeah, I'm it's fixed now, Robert. I mute the mic until till the intro's over, just because they'll cross and get some weird noise sometimes. And I forgot to take the mic off mute, so it should be good now. We are live on YouTube and on Facebook, but this break is wide open. If you're interested, 56 per spot. It is a pick your team, so you can pick from the teams remaining if you are interested. But I was just talking about how the Lakers got swept out of the playoffs. Congratulations, Nuggets fans. I only know 2 Nuggets fans, Joe Pollock and Shane Moore. I'm sure there's more, but that's the only 2 I personally know. But congratulations. It's fun to see your team make the championship round. And the Heat could wrap up their series tonight, and probably the biggest shock of these NBA playoffs, the Heat as an 8 seed could sweep their way into the NBA Finals. So Aaron Herrera would be pumped about that. We'd have Aaron Herrera and Joe Pollock, BTG Breakers, going off in the NBA Finals. If anybody is interested, this is open. This is open if you're interested, ladies and gentlemen. Saw your mouth moving, but no words. I hear you. I hear it. Yeah. It's like when my wife starts talking about work. I see her mouth moving, but I don't pay any attention. NHL finals, the Panthers are up, or conference finals, the Panthers are up 3-0 in their series. And I believe, what is the other series? 2-0? So, kind of weird. Usually NHL series go the distance. Yeah, Vegas is up 2-0 in their series. Florida up 3-0. It'd be crazy if we got 4 sweeps across the board there. Womp, womp, womp. That's all I hear. You would think me and my wife have been married for, since 2004, so 19 years this July. We've been together since 97. You would think at this point, she would realize I don't pay attention when she starts talking about work. I just don't. Unless it's like a funny story about a coworker, then maybe. But other than that, I'm not paying attention when she starts rambling about work. For Buffalo, appreciate it, Robert Cave. Appreciate it, guys and gals. If you are interested, I don't know how long. We are going to give it the old college try with dual streaming on YouTube. That's why it comes up Facebook user in the chat, because we are live on YouTube as well. So far, we haven't really gained anything, but I've got to figure out how to make YouTube grow. But if you're interested, so your name comes up, you can click on that link. It's 3 easy steps, and then it'll show your name and your profile. Just so you see it instead of Facebook user. It's just security settings on the Facebook side. The app that we use to dual stream doesn't like, or Facebook doesn't like the app. YouTube's way more user friendly as far as security goes. So, but I guess you could look at it like Facebook's protecting you. So there's 2 ways to look at every coin. So, but Robert Cave, 1 of 4, Buffalo. Appreciate it, Robert. One spot taken. Edgar Mendez, what's going on? Nicholas George, how you doing? The break is wide open if you're interested. Anybody have anything good for lunch today? I just had breakfast about 10 o'clock. My son had fifth grade celebration today. Today's his last day of school, and they don't call it graduation there, but they call it celebration, which is cool. It was pretty. I mean, some of it was long and drawn out, like most ceremonies like that, but it was cool. So we went there 7:30, then get out of there to like 9:30. Came home and didn't realize it wouldn't have any reception to kind of bump and keep up with this post for lunch. But I thought I'd have a little bit of reception, but I had nothing. I couldn't even send a message. So it's all good though. We're here. See if we can't get some lunch fun in today. I got to go meet up with Aaron Herrera later this afternoon. Any other interesting sports stories going on today? I seen LeBron mention something about talking. He's such a drama king. He wants all the drama. He's not going to retire. We all know he's going to keep playing until Bronny gets into the league. I think he'll retire at that point. Like, he'll play a season with Bronny and then he'll retire. We all know he's not going to retire. Sounding like Aaron Rodgers over there. I'm going to put a post on the page here, see if I can get anybody interested to jump in. Michael Collins, how you doing today? Rodgers ain't a flower, though. I like Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes he's just a little too much. I do like him. He's a hell of a quarterback. Sometimes he just gets in his own feelings a lot. I'm interested to see how he handles the New York media because the Green Bay media is going to throw him softballs. New York media, if they go through a rough patch, is not going to throw him softballs. Just putting a blast on the page here. The fans throw snowballs at him. And I used to love Braun, but he started doing that more and more. I mean, LeBron is built like a damn truck. If he was knocking him over. Yeah, he's just such a. I mean, like, the flopping has got to stop. The other day, nobody even touched him. And then he tried to blame the other day when he dropped the layup or the dunk that he was going for. He tried to say he hit his knee. It was nowhere near his knee. He just dropped it. I saw a post where a Casper. That's hilarious. That's hilarious, Robert. We'll just start ejecting flippers. We'll stop. I mean, NHL's got a rule penalty embellishment. If they think you're flopping, you get the penalty. I love it. Yeah, I love that. First time I heard it was at a minor league game. In fact, I don't even know if it's in the NHL. It's definitely in minor league hockey, and I love it. I was like, "What is embellishment?" Never heard that rule, and yeah, but yeah, if they think you're trying to fake a penalty, they will call embellishment on you. I'm just putting a blast on the page. Hang tight for me, guys. Yeah, I've never seen it called in the NHL, but yeah, I love it. Soccer gives cards, but I mean, there's a lot of flopping in soccer. If we're being honest here, I don't. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say I watch soccer, but I've seen enough highlights to know there's plenty of flopping still in soccer. Soccer gives cards for. Yeah, I saw a post and he's like, "What was it?" I saw a post that was like MJ does it too, which he did, but then didn't blame someone else. I mean, I don't remember MJ flopping. I don't remember anybody in the NBA flopping in the 80s and 90s. I could be wrong. I mean, but I don't remember it. If it was, it wasn't as blatant as it was now. At least you got hit, and maybe you embellished a little bit. But these guys aren't even getting hit now, or just getting like tapped on the arm with a finger, and they're acting like somebody cut off their arm. What's up, Aaron Herrera? How you doing? You ready for Game 4 tonight? You ready for Game 4? The Heat can sweep the Celtics into the NBA Finals. What's up, Senor Cruz? How you doing? Oh! I misunderstood what you said, Zach. One spot taken, 7 to go here in live fill, or technically break 20, 62-15. One box, pick your teams, 56 per spot. If you are interested, folks, 4 folks in here watching, 1 person on the YouTube side. Who else wants to jump in here? Lots of great stuff left in the series. 38 boxes. 6 of them, I think 6 of them are break credit. 5 break credit. 5 break credit left. We already hit 1. And you know, out of the 38, you know 22 of them. So between break credit and headliners, you know what 22 of them are. Indy 500 this weekend. Been to the Brickyard a couple times. Once for Indy and once for the Brickyard 400. It's a cool place to visit, but it's a terrible place if you're a race fan. It's a terrible place to watch a race. I've sat in 2 different locations, and all you can see is what's right in front of you. You can't see like the corners, and what's right in front of you. Really, all you could see. I sat on the front stretch in 2 different areas, and you can't see the back stretch at all unless something's changed. It's been 20 years since I've been there. But yeah, it's an awesome place to visit, the history and everything, but it's not a great place to watch a race. I hate that now 4 Euro steps have to be called before traveling called. Hell, people crossing the border. Yeah, I never even understood the jump step that came around. I don't know. God, I think I was still in high school when the jump step became a thing. I don't understand how that's not traveling. I never have. And yeah, now the Euro step, and they carry the ball the whole time anyway. They carry the ball, like they're carrying groceries or something. So I don't watch much NBA. I'm not gonna. I don't think I've watched an entire game if you added it up this season. I just can't get into it. Nobody plays defense. It's. I mean, offense is fun. Don't get me wrong, but I like to see somebody lock down a player and play good defense. but I get tired of everybody whining about calls, and there's no flow to whether you're talking college or NBA. There's no flow to basketball anymore between TV timeouts and regular timeouts and commercials and fouls, and there's just no flow to the game anymore. I think especially in college, each coach should have one timeout. Now, if it's not a TV game like for smaller colleges where you're not on TV and you don't get built-in timeouts, that's different. But for your big schools that are on TV every game and you're getting 4 built-in timeouts a half, you should get 1 timeout per half. There's no reason coaches need 5 timeouts in college basketball. Not in Division I where you're on TV every night. It's just between that and fouls and instant replay to see who it went off. Just give the ball to it's a split second call. They go both ways. They usually even out at the end of the game. But you can't hand check either. Right. They've definitely made it more offensive. Offense sells tickets, draws ratings for sure. It's tough just like in the NFL, every rule goes against the defense. So it's definitely tough. Headliner list is up to date if you're interested. So do strippers. Oh, Lord. Zach, who's your NFL team? Who do you pull for in the NFL? Or college or whatever who's your favorite teams, I guess? Whether it's basketball or NFL or college, who do you pull for? Dallas and Penn State. That's an interesting combination. Usually those two areas kind of dislike each other. Usually most Penn State fans don't appreciate Dallas because they're usually like Eagles fans or Pittsburgh fans. So that's an interesting combination. Dallas and PSU. Yeah, it's weird. It's all good, though. It's all good. Henry Charles is a big Penn State fan. I like to give him shit. James Franklin needs to go. He's a good recruiter, but he just cannot coach up a team. His players, he recruits well, but they're the same player that when they leave 3 or 4 years later, they're pretty much the same player as when they got there. Whether you look at Sean Clifford or the running backs or their defensive players, he just doesn't develop them. Like that whole staff just doesn't develop players well, and his game day prep is terrible. Hell of a recruiter. We went through that in the '90s with John Cooper. Hell of a recruiter. He can get kids in there, but just can't develop them and can't get over the hump. Central PA is Pitt, Wash. Yeah, Central PA is kind of all over the place. You're between Philly and Pittsburgh. You got 2 historically really good teams in Pennsylvania, though, with the Eagles and Steelers. Yeah, he's and that obviously head coaches don't do a ton in college as far as X's and O and development. They're more game planners and more organized. They're more just like CEOs. They have to manage the other coaches and set expectations and growth and everything. That's more what college coaches do. I think NFL coaches do too. But that's all goes. But it all falls on him for not getting the right guys in position. But just the quarterback play alone, whether it's Sean Clifford or who was the kid before Sean Clifford, decent quarterbacks, talented, but just never developed. Never developed from year 1 to year 3 or 4. And it's tough. McSorley, thank you, Trace McSorley. But again, it's almost identical type quarterbacks. Scramble, decent arms, play with a lot of heart. Very similar quarterbacks. And then, of course, they had Will Levis and lost him. He transferred to Kentucky, which would have been a different style. Just big, strong dude, stand in the pocket, throw strikes down the field. I'll see how he does in the NFL. He's got an arm, but I just don't know how well he'll do in the NFL. But yeah, neither one of those players developed. They just never got any better. Hackenberg was a big guy. He wasn't the scramble kind of run around and scramble guys like McSorley and now I'm forgetting the other kid's name. Not forgetting the other kid's name. But yeah, he actually was a lot like Will Levis. Big, strong arm. Yeah, but Hackenberg, he got drafted way earlier than I thought he would for no more production than he did in college. But he just never, I don't think he even played in the NFL. Maybe some preseason games, but I don't think Washington drafted him. Am I thinking right? Did Washington draft him? I could be wrong on the Washington, but I know he got drafted like fourth round, which surprised me. Second round, like yeah, but okay. So I was Jets. You are right. I remember it. Yeah, now that you say Jets, I remember that. Just never even seen the field that I know of. If it did, it was mop up duty or maybe some preseason, but never really seen the field. I mean, it was the pick. Coming out of college, I mean, people knock Haskins, but he was a great college quarterback. Set every Big Ten record there was for single season passing records. And people like to knock for not using Burrow, but Burrow had a broken hand. And I mean, again, Haskins set every Big Ten record there was a set for a single season, so it wasn't the wrong call. And people forget, I love Joe Burrow, but his first year at LSU, he was very, very average. It took Joe Brady coming in a second year in LSU for him to turn into Joe Burrow. So he was very average when he got to his first year at LSU. So Ohio State didn't make the wrong call with Haskins. Haskins played his ass off. Just wasn't ready mentally, or not mentally, but maturely. Wasn't mature enough to be ready for the NFL. He could have used another year in Ohio State to mature for sure. But when somebody's throwing millions of dollars your way at 20 years old, 21 years old, most kids are going to take that. Joe is exactly what he needed to happen to become Burrow. I agree. I mean, sometimes you got to stuff like that has to happen for you to realize, to get that chance. And I'm not sure with our offense he would have turned into Joe Burrow because especially under Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer liked to run the ball and QB sneak and QB scrambles and read option. And I'm not sure he turns into Joe Burrow under our offense. So, because again, he wasn't that guy the first year at LSU. I love Urban Meyer, but he wasn't out there to develop NFL quarterbacks. He just wasn't. He was out there to win games and win national championships. And I say that stuff all the time. Like, what's a college coach's job? I mean, a college coach's job is to win college football games and develop players that fit his scheme. If they turn into great NFL prospects, good. But if you're developing a lot of NFL guys, but you're not winning, you're not going to have a job very long. That's just the truth of it. You've got to be able to get guys that play within your system and get guys to produce for you. I mean, yeah, you hope they go on to be great NFL players, but Again, if you're going 6-5 or 7-5 every year, but you're developing NFL talent, you ain't gonna have a job very long. He would have ate too much Skyline. he he doesn't even like Skyline, sir. I don't know if you've seen the interview, but he doesn't even like Skyline. He may have had too many White Castles or what's the Canes? They're all over the place in Columbus. But actually, I don't even know in Columbus. I know Columbus pretty well. I don't think there's many Skylines. That's a Cincinnati thing. I don't know that there's many Skylines in Columbus. Maybe a couple, but I can't even think of one off the top of my head. I know Columbus pretty well. I'm in the Big Ten. You can go 8-5s too many times and you're gone. Right. That's what I mean. I mean, if you're developing NFL talent but you're not winning, you're not going to have a job very long. So it's always like a catch-22 for college coaches for me. Like you gotta have players that fit your scheme. What they do in the NFL isn't your problem. Yeah, it's nice and it helps your program. Obviously, it's helping us like in our wide receivers in the NFL. We keep recruiting NFL wide receivers because we keep producing them. And it goes both ways. So if you're producing them, you're going to get more, but you got to be able to win with them. You can't just bring kids in and not win. He hates like soup. I don't like chili, period. I don't eat it, whether it's homemade or from a restaurant or from a can. I don't eat chili, period. Now, if my wife has some, before Wendy's changed their fries to the trash fries that Wendy's has now, if my wife got chili from Wendy's, I dip my fries in it. It has a good flavor, but I just do not like it as a meal or like I don't eat any soup, whether it's like chicken and noodles or like beans or tomato soup or cream of mushroom soup. I don't eat any soup, so I think it's a mental thing for me. Yeah, I don't like anything like that. So. This is wide open here, guys. Break 62-15. One box, pick your teams. 56 per spot is open if you're interested. Anybody interested in jumping in here in BTG South on a lunch break on Tuesday afternoon? See if this fill more, but no one's having it. Well, yeah, we don't. Yeah, we haven't. We've been down around 2 or 3 people watching for about the past 20 minutes here. I'll probably take it back to the page and run a couple. Hopefully, fill a couple minis for tonight and get this full for tonight. Hopefully, have some luck tonight. But I was just getting ready to say, if we don't get some traction here soon, we'll call it a lunch break and we'll be done for lunch. Yeah, just nobody's jumping in today for lunch. And I used to do lunch breaks every time, every day. We did them in BTG South, and but they just got to where a lot of people were back to work. We did them primarily during COVID, and we used to knock out. How we close series at lunch before. We have 20 boxes left, and we'd close a series at lunch multiple times. But on a bad day during COVID, I mean, for about a year, we would do 5 at lunch would be a bad day. Most of the time, it was between 5 and 10. Sometimes, again, we do 20 at lunch breaks. There was multiple times where I had to shut off a lunch break with people watching and people taking spots because I had to get my son when he came home from school. They wouldn't let him off the bus unless a parent was out there. So, yeah, but now most people are back at lunch and or back at work rather, and they're just not feeling the way they used to. I thought I'd throw them up. I'll probably try them for a week or two, see if we get any traction. Obviously, people have to see them in order to jump in. But just trying to see if there's a way we can get more eyeballs and take some spots and move some stuff. So. Louis G, what's going on today, my man? Cali's finest. How you doing today, sir? All right, guys, last call for lunch breaks. Last call for lunch breaks. Nick Mash, what's going on? Sounds good, Zach. Like I said, I'm going to I'll open this back up on the page. We'll make it a pre-fill for tonight. Robert Cave, are you still watching? Do you want to keep your spot for tonight, Robert? I'm waiting to close things. Close your luck. What's going on in here? Get ready to sign off for lunch, Louis G. I'll probably throw it up. It's already on the page. We had it up all morning on the page. Robert K wants to keep his spot. No problem. I'll update it on the page. But probably going to turn this into a pre-fill for tonight and run some minis and see if we can't get this pre-filled for tonight. We've been live here about 35 minutes almost. Not quite 35, but we've been live here a while and only one spot taken. So probably just get ready to sign off and start trying to fill this break up on the page for tonight. Unless somebody wants to take a spot real quick, and then we'll try to keep it up after that. But if nobody wants a spot, we'll call it done for lunch, and we'll be back at it tonight and see if we can't have some fun tonight. All right, folks, that's going to do it. Robert K will update your spot on the page and keep it there, and then I'll throw up a mini here shortly, see if we can't get some traction going on this. But thank you, guys. I appreciate you jumping in, hanging out with me at lunch today. Enjoy your afternoon. I will be back tonight. If you have any friends, family, relatives, co-workers, anybody who's into sports and might enjoy what we do, make sure you invite them into the group. Definitely help us grow and keep this bad boy going. Without you guys, we aren't here. We don't get to do this, so we definitely appreciate anybody you can invite to the group and hang out with us. So, but that's going to do it for me at lunch, and I will see y'all tonight. Have a good afternoon.